Alright, in this video we are going to be talking about the latest AI tools that can be used by researchers, by students and also by lecturers in making research, in doing your assignments, gathering data and data analysis. But before we go into the video, what do we mean by AI? When we're talking about AI means artificial intelligence, and it is a simulation of both human intelligence and machine language in generating data. AI is transforming education by playing a significant role in research, learning and teaching through automation, data-driven insights and personalized support. However, these AI tools are not meant to replace human learning, but rather they are meant to enhance human learning, enhance your research and your project work in general. The first AI tool we are going to be talking about in this video is Elicit AI. Elicit is an AI-powered research assistant that helps students in gathering data, making research and collection of data. Elicit AI also assists students in analyzing data, connecting papers and making deep research on your project topic or whatever topic it is that you're trying to gather data on. Alright, step-by-step guide on how to use Elicit AI. Number one step is for you to pick up your phone or your laptop, whatever gadget it is you're using to browse, and go to www.elicit.com. Now, this research engine helps us in making deep research and summarizing our key insights, getting answers to questions, and a whole lot of functions. As you can see, Elicit analyze research papers at superhuman speed, and once you click on elicit.com, it is going to bring you here. You can see the functions of the AI powered assistant. Elicit AI can perform a whole lot of cool functions. It's like my number one go-to AI assistant that I use in making my research. Let's quickly go into how we can make use of this AI powered assistants making our researches. So first off, we click on the sign up button if you don't have an account on Elicit, and if you do have an account on Elicit, you just click on your sign in button. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to be signing up on this website. So for me, I'm going to be signing up with my Google account, and that should bring me right here, though I've once signed in before on this account. But for you, it is going to require you signing in with your email and Gmail, whatever email you use. Step number two, after we finish signing up on the website, is to enter our research question or whatever research it is that you're trying to make, whatever question you're trying to get answers to. I'm going to input my research question in the search bar. This is our search bar. The effect of drug abuse on young adults. All right, so here is my research question. I'm going to input that in. Immediately I press enter, it is going to generate different papers for me. Elicit is going to load research papers and references based on the questions that you ask. Now, the beautiful thing about Elicit AI is that you can delve deep into your research questions. You can decide to, get more insights based on the papers that were given to you. All right, so on this particular column I have my papers, and on the other column I have my abstract summary, and the last column here I have where I can manage my column. All right, so on this first column where I'm having my papers, these are the papers that were generated for me through Elicit AI. I can decide to go through each of these. Now it is left for me to decide on the topic or the paper that I see fits into my research question. Now, another thing on this AI powered assistant is that I have the ability to enhance my research. Elicit AI helps provide you with several other tools, such as you can add your summary column, you can add your main findings, methodology, interventions, outcome measured, and limitations. Now, if I feel like trying to get the limitations of drug abuse on young adults, I can simply come here and tap on this limitation. Now, once I tap on this limitation, you're going to see the interface of Elicit AI. It is going to add the limitations column to it. Now, this limitation column simply would highlight the limitations of those research topics that it is that you're searching for. Also, you can add more columns. You can add more columns to your workspace. I can decide to add methodology in this column. Now, adding methodology in this column, I would not be able to add it because I am making use of the free version of Elicit AI. So for me to be able to get more columns on this, I have to upgrade this account to Elicit AI Plus for me to be able to get a maximum of 8 columns. But one thing I do is that for me to be able to use every of these columns, I would come here and I delete the column. Click on this arrow button here and press on click on delete column. It is going to delete the column, and if you feel you do not want the methodology, you can as well click on the button there and delete your column. And by so doing, you have the ability to click on more columns that you see fits into your research question. And for this case, I might decide to, okay, what is the outcome measured? I can click on the outcome measured, which is going to instantly open outcome measured column for me to be able to go deeper into the research question, my research topic that I'm trying to get. So this is how your Elicit AI works. It is a very simple AI assistant that gives you in-depth knowledge on any research question you're trying to get or your research papers, and it also helps with references and citations, and you can use your Elicit AI to help you with your literature review.
The next AI tool we are going to be talking about in this video is SciSpace. SciSpace is an AI that performs almost the same function as Elicit AI, and it is really a nice tool that can be used in making your research, and most importantly, it is best used for literature review. Here are the important things that I think you should know about your SciSpace AI. All right, now this is our interface. This is the interface of SciSpace, and once you click on scispace.com, it is definitely going to bring you right here, and all you need to do is for you to sign up. All right, quickly, it does have a whole lot of tools that can be used, and it is kind of similar to Elicit AI, but it has some major tools that you can't really find on Elicit AI. And these are the tools we are going to be talking about and how you can make use of these tools in making your research. All right, the first tool we have is Chat with PDF. I think this is a really cool tool because this tool enables you to be able to chat with your PDF, and I think you really can't find this function on other AI platforms, and it enables you to be able to ask questions from your PDF, where you just upload your PDF files on it, and it is going to generate a whole lot of summary, and some other cool stuff that we're going to talk about later in this video. Another tool we have is your AI writer, the ability for it to help you generate your research paper and help you elaborate some highlighted text. The next tool we have is literature review, find topic, extract data, AI detector, citation generator, and paraphrasers. And of course we have one other one, which is research PDF to video. So let's input our research question in this. Okay, I'm going to input my query, but for this I'm going to use this: what are the interesting theories about dark matter and dark energy? All right, while we click on that, SciSpace is going to generate research papers, right? So here we have answers from top 5 papers. Now this tool makes use of AI assisted generator to generate these research answers. And one very cool stuff that I think SciSpace has is the notebook function. Now the notebook is not something you can find on other AI tool, but for me, I think I really love this tool because I have the ability to take notes of whatever research papers that I have here. I can save these research papers into my notebook by just clicking on save to notebook. Now clicking on your save to notebook will automatically save this query into your notebook. Now if I click on read more, it is going to show me more of the research answers that I asked for. And right here we have find topic, we have APA bullets. Now your find topic is if you're trying to generate a topic for that particular question. Now clicking on it would automatically bring me to finding relevant papers, finding topics in papers, finding a whole lot of stuff there. All right, so here are the list of generated topics based on the prompt that was imputed. Here you have phantom energy, here you have brain cosmology, here you have dark fluid, and it's also going to show you the sources and citations. Here we have 3 sources. Okay, they are in bullet point, 3 sources. Okay, now I think this is a really cool function. All right, but let's go back to our research query. Another thing we should take note of is that it is going to generate the research questions the research papers for us in this kind of column, which is actually the major thing you need to take note of when you're making your research here on SciSpace. And the interface is kind of similar to that of Elicit AI. All right, so here we have our filter. This filter means if you want to filter your research papers based on PDF only, based on open access, or based on top papers. If you want just PDF, you can click on your PDF and it is automatically going to filter these papers and bring out just the ones with PDF. Now another cool thing that I think this SciSpace is good for is that you have the ability to play each of your research papers as a podcast, but of course it doesn't come without a price, and it is not free. We have the pricing. For you to have access to that option, you would definitely have to pay a little token on the app. And here we have the basic plan, here we have the premium plan if you want to pay per month for the premium, and of course we do have the advanced plan and the likes like that. But I think if you find this AI tool really important, those are not really something much. That's not really a big amount that you can afford to pay on the app, right? Here we have our research column, we have our column paper, we have our research column. Okay, and one thing I always do whenever I'm making research is that I want to take note of the insights for each of these papers, like this first paper here. This is the insight. I would love to, read through it. Yeah, I have the paper proposes that dark energy arises from ground state curvature at finite coupling, blah blah blah, like that. So what I do is I try to read this insight. Now these insights are AI generated. It just tends to summarize what each of these papers is about, and I would advise you to go through the insights before picking that paper and adding it to your project work or making use of it for whatever you want to use it for right now. Okay, now the next column here, we have the limitation column, we have the data set, and on this last column we have where you can further add your columns. You can add your conclusion, your summary, your result, summarize, introduction, method use, literature survey, contribution, and others like that. So if you feel like you want to add any of these columns to each of these papers so you can generate more in-depth knowledge on each of these papers, you can simply click on it and it is going to show that on the column. The next thing that is important for us to note here on SciSpace is my library. Now if I click on my library, it is going to show a whole lot of work that I've done. Here are things that I've added to my library. These are notes and some cool things that are important to the research that I'm making. The next tool that is important for us to note is my note. My notebook is simply where every research questions that you've asked and the research answers that it generated, whenever you add them to your notes, it always comes down to this spot, and this spot is where you find your notebook. Clicking on this column, you're going to see my notebook, and once you click on notebooks, it is going to bring you right here. The next tool we need to know about is how can we use SciSpace AI in chatting with your PDF. All right, let's go into it and see how that works. Now I will come down here on my chat with PDF. Once I click on this spot, it automatically opens this up where I can, upload my PDFs, and clicking on upload PDF, I'm going to open this file, and automatically it's going to ask me where do I want to add this PDF to. For me, I'm just going to add it to my notebook, and I'll click on done, and this should automatically open this PDF and it will automatically add it into my notebook. All right, so the PDF is open, and here we have what the PDF entails: political philosophy of St. Thomas Aquinas. Now what this does is that it automatically reads through your PDF instead of you having to read your PDF, which is going to take you a lot of time. SciSpace will automatically read through this PDF in just a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, and you can get to interact with this PDF, and I think this helps you in saving time, right? All right, let's see another thing it can do. Here we have our PDF. On this other column, we have the column where we can chat with our PDF. Now this is a really cool function that you really can't find in other AI assistants. So for me, I'm going to interact with my PDF. If I click on this arrow down here, it is going to bring up a list of suggested questions that I can ask SciSpace, and it is going to generate the answers based on what I have in my PDF. And on the other slot where you have my questions, this is where I can type my questions if I feel that the question I'm trying to ask are not really here. But let's just make use of this and generate a summary of this paper, which I think is what I need. So I'm going to click on generate summary of this paper, and it will automatically go through this paper and summarize all what the PDF entails of. All right, now it can take a while depending on how much the PDF is, and sometimes when it's overtaking time, I can go and do other stuff while I come back to it. But for this PDF, it didn't really take much time. Okay, we have summary of our research paper right here. If I feel I need to save this summary to my notebook, I can simply click on save to notebook, and it is automatically going to save that to my notebook. And another thing you need to know is that when you're asking your question, you can turn on the high quality, and this high quality only works with the premium version of the Scispace. And this high quality simply means it gets to generate a better answers to whatever prompt it is that you're putting in. So if you think this is worth spending on, you can subscribe to that. All right. Now, the next tool that we're going to be talking about on Scispace is the AI Writer tool, and this tool is something I find really interesting. All right, let's just see how the tool works. Okay, so right here we click on AI Writer. It's going to bring us here. I'm going to click on Start Writing, and it will automatically bring out this page that looks like Microsoft Word. All right, so I'm just going to input a prompt from there. So I'm going to input that into our AI Writer. Now, this tool simply helps you in generating your answers. Instead of you having to crack your brain and having to write a whole lot of things from your head, this tool assists you in writing whatever answers or whatever thing you want to write by helping you make use of both your brain and your AI together, and which is a really cool stuff and a really powerful tool that can be used. All right, so here I have my prompt. So in a situation whereby I feel like, okay, I don't know how to continue with what I want to do, I can simply highlight my text here and click on this plus sign that I have here. All right, now clicking on this plus sign that I have here, it is going to bring out these options, so I can continue writing with citations, outline builder, write introduction, you can write your conclusion, write opposing argument, and of course there are other stuff that you can do right here, such as heading and the likes like that. So for me, I am going to click on write introduction. So you can see AI is writing. If I click on stop, it is going to stop. Okay, so here we have it. It has helped me write an introduction based on the prompt that I imputed. So if I feel like this introduction is really nice, I can click on accept. And if I feel like the prompt is not that nice and I want it to do something new, I can simply click on try again. But for this video, I'm just going to click on accept. So this is a really cool tool that you can use in your chat with AI, I mean your AI writer. And of course, you can click on your tab button to accept it. Okay, I can always click on tab to get more suggestions, and it's always going to keep generating more words for me, on and on and on and on like that. So I can make use of this tool in writing essays and a whole lot of that. Next thing is for Scispace, it is a really busy app where everything can get so busy quickly. But I would advise that the more you use it, you can just keep clicking on everything you see on there and try to see how it works. And the more you use it, the more you get a better grip of how you can further enhance this and integrate it into your research work. All right, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is paraphrasers. Now, for your paraphrasers, I really don't make use of that, but if you think you want to paraphrase your text, here is a very nice tool that you can use in paraphrasing your text. You can either make use of this tool in expanding your text or make use of it in shortening your text. So let's just see how it works. All right, so for me, I have this text right here, and I feel I want to paraphrase it. All I need to do is to input my text or highlight it, and I'm going to click on rephrase. But before clicking on rephrase, you have other things such as your fluent, if you want it to paraphrase it in a fluent way, in a formal way, or in a creative way, and of course you can click on more and add other stops right there. So I'm just going to click on professional, and I'm going to highlight my text right here. And another thing you should take note of while you are trying to paraphrase is this button right here. As you can see, you can use this button in expanding your text. If you bring it to the middle, right to the middle, you can bring it to your default, and if you bring it down here, it means you want it to shorten the paraphrasing process. But for me, I'm just going to click on expand, and right here you have your variation. You can either leave it in medium, or you take it to less changes or more changes. So for this video, I'm just going to input the medium change right there, and of course, when we click on rephrase, it is automatically going to help us rephrase words and paraphrase it. And of course, here on your paraphraser, you also have AI detection, and this AI detection helps you in detecting if the word you imputed is AI generated, all right, which I think is a really cool function. So let's just see how this works. If I click on AI detection, we have it right there. It says this text is likely AI. So if you have a PDF and you want to know maybe this PDF is AI generated or not, you can just click on the text you have right there and input it right into your paraphraser, and of course come to where you have your generate AI, checking if the text is 100% AI or not. All right, it says the output text is 100% AI generated. The text content has little or no AI, which I think is a really cool function. All right, okay, we do have other stuff that we can check out on this SciSpace app, and right there we have your citation generator. Your citation generator simply helps you in generating citations, and of course we have other tools such as your extract data, and your extract data has to do with you uploading your PDF right into this box here, and automatically your data on the PDF would be extracted. So you just click on your upload PDF, and you're going to get every data on the PDF extracted into your notebook or wherever you want to input that into. So the next tool we are going to be talking about is your AI detector. Now this your AI detector is a really cool function and a really cool tool that you can find on SciSpace. What this tool does is that it helps you analyze your prompt, and it is going to tell you if what you imputed is AI generated or not AI generated. Now I think this can be used by lecturers in detecting if the assignments they give to their students were generated using AI. All right, so here we have our AI generation tool. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to open a PDF and also try to copy a text and see if it is going to detect if it is an AI generated text. So I'm just going to click right here and input that in, and click on my analyze button. But you can decide to analyze it scientifically or non-scientifically, but I'm just going to analyze it scientifically. I'm pressing my analyzing tool. It automatically shows that okay, a part of this text was generated by AI. At least likely 25% of the text I inputted was generated by AI. All right, so I think this is a really cool function that you can make use of on your SciSpace app. The next tool that is important for us to note on your SciSpace AI, I think your use on ChatGPT is another function we need to pay attention to, and this simply entails making use of SciSpace and ChatGPT as one, because I feel ChatGPT is kind of integrated into your SciSpace app, which automatically gives you this form of ChatGPT and SciSpace, and you can make use of this in just inputting your prompt and getting answers just the same way you do on your ChatGPT. So that brings us to the major functions that we can make use of SciSpace for, and I think it's a really nice app that you can use in making your research in general. The next tool we are going to be talking about in this video is Consensus.
Consensus is an AI-powered research engine that is meant for researchers and academia. Now, this AI engine is simply good for making researches. For instance, you are a researcher or a student, and you just get some questions pop into your head, and you really need to get a quick understanding of such questions. I think Consensus is the right AI tool that is meant to just do that. All right, let's just dive into it and see how we can make use of your Consensus. All right, so this is our landing page. For you to get to the landing page, all you need to do is just type in consensus.app and log in, and it's going to bring you right into our landing page. All right, so it is a really simple app that it doesn't really requires you having in-depth understanding of how to operate it, because it doesn't really have much functions where you have to go into and the whole interface start getting much, and you really can't play around it. So here we have a whole lot of cool functions. Here we have a search bar where we can ask our research question, and right here we have the pro version, and right here we have our filter, and our filter enables us to be able to filter our questions. So I'm just going to input my research question right in here. Let's just pick from the ones we have here. Can lifting weight improve bone density in elderly people? So I'm just going to click on that, and Consensus is going to analyze the research questions and draw out a reference answers for me. What we have here is the consensus meter, and based on the question that we ask, can lifting weight improve bone density in elderly people, we have this consensus meter. Now I think that is one of the useful functions of your Consensus AI, in the sense that once you just ask it a question, it gets to give you a direct answer. Either it is a yes or a no or a maybe answer. So for this question that I asked, I am able to get my consensus meter. Right here I have result from 18 relevant papers which stated yes, which means that weightlifting can improve bone density in elderly people. And here on this spot I have 6% of paper indicates possibly they may find evidence suggesting yes with caveats. And right here we have a mixed consensus, which is on this orange, and on this other color right here we have a no. But generally I can see that my yes is higher than every other answers at which I got, which makes it a direct answer to me that yes, this can be done, no, this can be done. So in other cases where you get to ask questions, it can be that it is your no that would have more consensus than your yes. So basically this is how your consensus meter works. All right, so let's see other functions that we can make use of the Consensus AI app to perform. All right, so right here we have our pro button. If you turn that off, it is going to not really give you an in-depth knowledge of the research question at which you're asking. So I would always advise you to turn that on. So next here we have our filter. Our filter on this, we are going to have this column slide out right from the left hand corner of our system, and your filter enables you to be able to filter your research question based on the year, based on the paper, and a whole lot of functions. So right here we have filtering according to paper. Now I'm just going to click on the arrow key down there. I can decide to input just 2025 depending on the year I want to get my research papers from. So if I want research papers just from 2025, if I click on 2025, it is definitely going to bring out papers that were published between 2025, and if I click on any other year, it's going to bring out the papers that were published within those years. But for me, I think I want to have a diverse research
papers that has been published. So I'm just going to click on all, so it can bring out the whole paper that has been published about my research question on the internet. All right, so the next filter we are having right here, apart from the paper, is I can exclude preprint, I can open access, I can ask paper that are available, and my citations, I can improve that to, let's say, from 1 minute to any minute you want, maybe 60 minutes. So for these I will just input 20 minutes. And the method simply talks about the study type of the research question you're trying to generate. If it is a meta-analysis method study type you're trying to generate, or a systematic review, or an RCT, and that is your randomized your random control trial, or a non-RCT study type you're trying to get, or an observation study, a literature review, a case report, animal study, in vitro study. So you just click around these to just get to find the study type for the research question you're trying to ask. And next, underneath it, we have a controlled study, human study. Next, we also have journals, and we have the Q1, Q2, Q3 journals. We have the domain, and your domain simply talks about your area of research. Either you're into agriculture, is it a political question, is it an engineering question, an art question, and the likes like that. So right there we have agriculture, art, and the likes like that. All right, and you also get your country filter. Your country filter helps you in gathering research papers that have been published within a specified country that you click on. So for instance, if I'm in Nigeria and I need research papers that were published in Nigeria, I can simply go to countries and go to where I will be having Nigeria right there. All right, so right here I'm having Nigeria. I will simply click on Nigeria, and I will simply click on Nigeria, and it is going to generate research papers that were published in Nigeria and the specific year that I input into that. So once I'm done with this part, all I need to do is to apply those filter into that. Once I click on apply, it is going to reassess the research papers that were published and brought out to me to fit into the filter that I did apply. And I have the ability to scroll down and see each of these research papers that were brought forth. All right, let's scroll down and see what we have. So I can load more results if I feel okay, I'm not really feeling most of the research papers that were being brought to me. All right, now another thing I would love to talk about is whenever these research papers are being brought to you, you don't just click on any of these research papers. What I do whenever I'm making research is that I try to see the research paper that has more citations. Now, research papers that has more citations lets you know that, okay, this research might be relevant in your area of question or in your area of research. It means a lot of people has cited the questions, and it has a lot of activities going on in it. So for me, I'm going to go through the paper and see a paper that has a highly cited citation. All right, so underneath it right here we have 336 citations, we have 162 citations, and the likes like that. All right, this paper right here states highly cited, so it is kind of related to my research query, and because it has a high citation, I tend to find it more attractive because I feel like this particular paper has a lot of things going on in it. All right, so I would click on that. But before I click on that, one thing that is important for us to note is that you don't just click on the papers. On this top part of your papers, you have your research topic. Now you have to go through the research topic and see, because it's an AI tool and it just helps you in bringing up research topics and research papers that are kind of relevant to the question you ask. So you really need to take note of the research topic right here if it fits into the question you ask. So here we have effect of 1 year of resistance training on the relation between muscular strength and bone density in elderly women. All right, I feel this research paper is a bit related to what I have, but right here you can see it says possibly, so it is possibly related to the research prompts in which I imputed. All right, so let's just see the next one. This is yes, and from the consensus meters we have, you're going to see that the green and the other colors that we are having here, when we look at it on each of our research papers that were generated, you tend to find out that each of these research papers, the one that has yes, is going to show the same green color. That is to say that this research paper is part of what makes up the yes aspect on your consensus meter. All right, so here we have possibly, and for me, I just have the option and the liberty to go around these papers and just see the ones that are useful for me and the ones that are not really useful for me. All right, so another thing that is important for us to take note of while you're making research on consensus is that it is important for us to take note of every of the details you are having right underneath your research paper. Like here we have your RCT, rigorous journal, highly cited, ask this paper. So if you want to ask this paper questions, you can click on ask this paper and it is going to bring you right here. And on this column we're having our PDFs and the likes like that, just like the same function that we had on your SciSpace. You also have something similar to chatting with your PDF right here on consensus. Now this enables you to ask questions that are related to the research paper at which you clicked on, or on the PDF that you clicked on. All right, so here I have a list of suggested questions that I can ask. Summarize paper in few sentences. Were there any conflict of interest? Did the author mention any limitations? All right, so for me, I think I would be interested more in summarizing paper in few sentences, so I will just click on that, and consensus is automatically going to try and generate a summary of the research paper that I clicked on. A summary of our research paper in few sentences. So the research paper investigated the impact of exercise training on bone health in obese older adults undergoing weight loss. The study found that exercise training prevented an increase in bone turnover and a whole lot of that. So here we have our source. You can click on your source to know the source at which the AI generated the summary from. So I think this is a really cool function that you can also try out on consensus, right? Next thing that I think is useful for you to know on consensus is for you to know what this button is. So whatever paper it is that you find related or find useful, you can simply click on the save paper that you're having right here, and once you click right there, it means you've saved the paper. You can create a saved list. So for me, I'm going to create a new list, and I'm just going to put it weightlifting. I think I would love to keep the topic, and create new list, and it is automatically going to create this. I'm going to click on that, and it is going to save that research paper into my save list. And for me to get my save list, you're having it right here. So whenever you click right here, you're going to see your save list, and right here I can click on view all list, and right there I'm having my save list right here. Okay, so here I have my papers, here I have my search. So under my papers, it's going to load. Sometimes it takes a while before it uploads. You just have to wait for it to upload. So right here I have my papers, and I can always come back here anytime I need it for my research. So for consensus, that is all there is about consensus. I would highly recommend this app for just asking very quick questions, you want to get quick answers on a particular question that just pop into your head while you're trying to make your research, this AI tool is highly recommended because it gives you, a very precise answers to your question.
The next AI tool we're going to be talking about is Connected Paper. As a researcher, as a student, lecturer, or whatever field you find yourself, and you're looking for an AI tool that you can make use of in generating papers that are connected to your research study, I would highly recommend Connected Papers for this job. Now, this AI tool is not like a citation AI tool that you use to get citations and the likes like that, but it is more or less used to generate papers that are connected to your field of research and your area of study. Now, this has nothing to do with reference. Maybe you're trying to get papers or reference based on your research study. It is totally different from reference. What this AI tool does is that it helps you in searching for papers that are related and similar to your research paper. All right, so let's quickly go into the interface and see how we can make use of this AI tool in our area of research. So once you click on connectedpapers.com, it is going to bring you right here, and what this AI tool does is that it explores academic papers in a visual graph. That is, you just have to type in your academic papers right into the software here, and it is going to generate a whole load of graphs that are related to your research paper. Now, the next thing
Important for us to know is that when you're searching, you make use
of your keywords, your paper title, your DOI, or your identifier. So right here, I am going to be looking for one of my research query. Okay, I'm going to open one of my PDF here, Political Philosophy of St. Thomas Aquinas. All right, so I'm going to copy that, and right here, I'm going to input that as my paper title. So having copying that, I'm going to paste it and click on view the graph. So here we have a list of graphs that has been built for us by Connected Papers. And like I said earlier, Connected Papers is not an AI engine that you use for citation. It is more complicated than you using it for citation. It has nothing to do with citation or reference, but it is kind of similar to more of like you're trying to get papers that are connected, that are related to your questions, to your research papers. All right, so here we have a list of everything it brought out, a list of papers that it brought out for me, and I think the paper I'm trying to get is this first paper, though it has 0 citations, and I can save it if I want to. So I'm just going to click on these papers.
So right here we have these 3 columns. On this first column here, we are having our research papers, or as I may like to call it, the origin paper column. And on this middle column here, we are having our graph, and each of the dots in this graph represents a paper. And on the last column here, we are having the column of each of the papers. So what I love to do whenever I come into Connected AI is that, first of all, I love to click on the little question mark button here that helps me in refreshing my memory on how this interface works. So I'm going to click on the little dot there. So once you click on the help button there, we can see each node is an academic paper related to the origin paper. That is to say that each of these nodes we are having here is an academic paper. They are related to our research paper. What I love to do is, the first thing here we are having, papers are arranged according to their similarities. This is not
is citation 3. So each of the papers we are having here is as a result of how similar they are to each other. Each of these dots are as a result of how similar they are to each other. Now, one thing that is important for you to take note on your connected papers is for you to take note of the dot. Sometimes you see that some of the papers have a bigger dot while some have a smaller dot. Now, every of these dots have meanings. All right, so what I do is that these dots that you're having right here on the interface, you can see the ones that are smaller is talking about the citation tools that the papers that have little citations on them, while the dots that are bigger means they have more citation. And one thing about connected paper and each of these paperwork is that the longer a paper has spent online, the more activities it tends to get and the more citations it tends to get. And the more citations the paper gets, the bigger the dots become. So a recent paper can sometimes have, the small dots because it doesn't really have much citations, while the bigger paper most times are papers that have, they've stayed online for a long period of time and, they have been published for a long time and therefore they have more citations, right? So another thing is that's important to take note is the colors of this graph. Now, the graph that have a deeper color are recent graphs. When you see a graph that has, a deep color, a deep blue color like this, it means the graph is more recent. And when you see a lighter color, it means it's not that really recent. So, and you can also see this other graph here, it's bigger. Now, this graph being bigger means it has more citations. This other graph that you have here is small and very thick. It means it has few citations and it is recent. You can see 2022. Let's also see other graph. Now look at this graph here. It is not connected to anything, it's just standing on its own. If you look at the color, you tend to see that it is much more lighter. Now, the lighter a graph is, the farther it is that it has been published, the longer it is it has been published. So this paper here is 2013. We can also go around and see some papers that might look lighter. I think this paper looks really light. You can see what I'm talking about. So this lighter paper here means it was published 1999. You can see that it's a very long paper and it doesn't really have much citation, hence the size we are having right there. So whenever I come to connected papers, one of the things I'm trying to look for is that I'm trying to look for a very big dot that is really deep in color, which means that the dot has more citation and is more recent. All right, so here is our research paper, and here are other papers that are connected to our research paper. All right. So the next thing that I always do whenever I come to research paper is that when I'm on this interface, I want to check out my prior works, and prior work simply talks about the papers that have been generated prior to the research question at which I generated. So once I come to my prior works, I'm going to see a list of works that are prior to my research work, my research question, and I might want to go a little bit down right there. Okay, now this is something that a lot of people do not really take note of when you're making use of your connected papers. You tend to see a paper that has this kind of cyanish color. I don't know what color to call it, but you tend to see a paper that has this color. And whenever you see a paper that has this color, it's talking about a previous work, a paper that has like a prior work to the research questions at which you're trying to ask. And for me, I think I would love to know about prior research papers that speaks more about the research work before
the research question I'm trying to ask. So if I click on that, it's going to automatically generate a list of other research papers. Now these research papers with this color are represented to tell me that these are, prior papers that are related to my research paper. And one thing you should also note is that once you click on your prior work, if I also click on this prior work again, the graph tends to change in the sense that you start seeing new color clusters on there, and I can see some color clusters on there. You can see these color clusters looking like a cyan color, something like that. Now this clusters talks about the previous work, like a prior work, and once you click on your prior work and you click on any of the papers, it is going to automatically change the face of this graph. And one thing that is important for you to note is that this your prior work also has years at which they have been published. Some of the prior works, their color tends to be also thicker and lighter than each other. All right, so this first one we have here, it's light. It's not kind of light like that. It was published 2014, and this other one tends to be way lighter than the one we are having right here. Now this one that is more lighter is telling us that the paperwork is way older than this particular paperwork that we are having right here. So for me, I think it is something you should try considering whenever you're making use of your connected papers in making your research. All right, so let's come back right here to our prior works. I'm going to click that, and it should automatically give us this. All right, so also when you look at your graph, you want to take note of this down part here where you have citing selected prior works 1983 to 2024. So this color right here represents selected prior works that has been cited. All right, so you should take note of that while you're making use of connected papers. Next thing we want to go into is the list view, and clicking on your list view would simply put in all your research papers in a listing format like this. So this works for probably you feel like you really do not understand the graph and how it works, but for me, I feel the graph is something that makes it more easier for you to be able to connect each of the papers, where you get to see the dots and the lines connecting one paper to another paper. But for some people, that can be too cumbersome for them to accumulate. So what you can do is that you can make use of the list view option that allows you view each of these papers on a listed format. And also we have another function here that I think is really important for you to note, is the filter option. Now this filter option helps you in filtering each of your research paper. You can filter your research paper based on PDF only, open access, and codes available. And also you can filter your paper based on the number of years you want to, all right, between 2000 to 2024, or you want paper that were published between 2013 to 2024. All right, and once you're done doing that, you can apply your filter, and once I click on apply, it is automatically going to apply every of these filters that I've applied, and it's going to reshuffle the interface of each paper that I once had. So next thing I would like to do is click on this same question mark, and here we have note size is the number of citations, and I think I did explain that earlier. So the size of your notes is the number of citations that you have. When you see a circle that is bigger, it means you have more citations, and when you see a smaller circle, it means you have very few citations. All right, The next thing is to check node color is the publishing year. All right, like I explained earlier, that when you see a node that has a deeper color, it means that research paper is more recent. And when you see another node that has a lighter color, it means that the publishing year is a bit not recent. All right. Similar papers have strong connecting lines and clusters together, right? So we can see that each of these connecting lines, they are kind of like into clusters, where we have these ones are in kind of like a cluster, we have this other cluster, though we have this paper that is standing alone, but I think this paper is kind of connected to this paper and this paper right here. All right, so also we do have some other set of clusters right here. What this graph is saying is that this set of clusters have really strong similarities that connect every one of them together. All right, so I think this is something you really need to pay attention to while you're making use of your connected papers. The last thing that is important to note on your connected paper is that whenever you have your research paper that you think is useful for your research work, what you want to do is you want to copy them, or you want to download them into your system or somewhere that you can always go back to it as a reference. You come to where you have your more button, and clicking on your more is going to bring out the graph version. You have your full screen, you have download, and you have share graph. So once you click on any paper, you can come right here and click download, and it is automatically going to download the selected paper into your system. All right, so if you're looking for an AI assistant you can use in getting papers that are related to your research question, I would highly recommend you use Connected Papers. All right, the next research tool we are going to be talking about is a very complicated research tool, and I would highly recommend this research tool for any researcher because of its efficiency. And one other thing to consider is the fact that this research tool is absolutely free. The research tool we are going to be talking about is ResearchRabbit. So ResearchRabbit is an AI tool that helps researcher in mapping and also in finding literature. Quickly, let's see how we can make use of this tool in our research. Okay, so right here we have is our landing page. This is our landing page. So once you click on researchrabbit.ai, it's going to bring you to the landing page where you just need to sign in with your email address. If you don't have an account, you have to sign up first. And once you finish signing up, it is going to bring you right here. And once it brings you right here, it kind of brings up a toolbar where you have to ask your questions and the related topics that you're trying to get answers to. Right now, once you finish clicking that, an important aspect of ResearchRabbit that is very important for you to note is this aspect right here. All right, so here we have new collections, we have new category, we have connect to Zotero. All right, for this new collection, it kind of talks about you creating like a team, a cluster of team based on your research field. I don't know if that makes sense, but I love to think about new collection like maybe when you have like a season movie you want to watch, like season 1, you have episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, and the likes like that. That is majorly what your collection is about. So you're trying to make a research. As a researcher, you put every of this your research in your collection. So you can just click on that and create a collection, and in that collection, whatever research you're making, it has to be around your research field. The research you're making based on your research field should have a particular collection where you put that in.
Then the next we have is new category. Your new category simply talks about creating a specific theme, like maybe episode 1 and the likes like that, like I explained earlier. So that is what your category is about. You can have a collection, and under your collection you have categories underneath it. All right, now the next thing is connect to Zotero. For those of you that make use of Zotero in making your research, I think this would work for you. But for this video, we're quickly going to talk about how we can make use of ResearchRabbit in-depthly. Here we have my own categorized collection. Next, under my own categorized collection, I do have a whole load of stuffs underneath there. But for ResearchRabbit, it is very, very complicated in the sense that you have to keep using it, so you tend to understand how it works, because it can get really noisy in a matter of few seconds. But I'm going to try as much as possible to break it down for us so we can have an in-depth knowledge of how we can make use of our ResearchRabbit in finding literature papers. All right, so here I have my category, and under my category I have some collections here. Okay, so I have this collection, politics, and untitled collection. So I'm just going to click on politics, because yeah, I think I love politics. So we're going to click on that, and once we click on that, it is going to generate a load of research papers that I have saved into my collection. And basically, whenever you input a research paper right here on ResearchRabbit, it requires you saving it into a particular category, I mean a particular collection or a particular category. So here is my collection. All right, so on this aspect, whenever you click on your collection, this is going to pop up. And first thing first, we have our filter button, and this filter button can be customized. I can decide to show my filters according to citations, according to recency, first author, last author, and the likes like that. So I think you should pay attention to that. And then also we have our comment section and our abstract paper. So if I want to filter my research work, I can filter it based on comment, filter it based on abstract papers. All right, so here I have my abstract papers. I'm going to click it, and it is going to generate my categorized work based on the abstractness of the paper. All right, so here we have these papers, and I'm going to make use of one of these in explaining how we can make use of ResearchRabbit. So clicking on this paper, you are going to find another similar column right here for each of these papers. So I'm just going to click on one of these papers. I'm going to click on this, and automatically it opened up this particular tab and this other tab right here. Now the next thing for us to do is that I can decide to go through my research paper and see what I have right there. So here we have it. Okay, so on this first selected paper, that is the paper I selected right here, you can see it is going to appear on this other column, this right here. And I'm able to interact with this paper by just going through the literature review and seeing how it fits into my research work. Then the next column we are going to talk about is this last column that we have here, which is showing just one selected paper. We have this button here, you can remove from politics, which means I can click on that to remove it from the category at which I placed it primarily. Then the next is I can decide to add this to another collection by just clicking on add to collection. It's going to add this particular paper into another collection that I'm trying to get. All right, Now, another thing that is important for us to pay attention to is this particular tab here where we have explore papers. All right, based on this paper that I clicked, I have similar works, I have all references, all citations, explore people, suggested author, explore other content, and the likes like that. But this particular paper that I clicked does not have similar work, but I'm going to make use of another example, another paper that has similar work. All right, let's come down there and click on this other paper and see if we are going to have similar work. All right, okay, very good. So this is another paper I just clicked on, and this paper has 621 similar work, no reference, 18 citations, and 4 authors, 4 suggested authors. So what I do here on this is that if I want to see the similar works that are similar to this exact paper that I clicked on, all I have to do is click on the similar work, and it is going to open those works for me. But before that, let's see other functions that we have right here. Okay, so on this tab we have public collection. Now if I click on public collection, it means it can be accessible to other people, right? And if I don't want my collections to be accessible to other people that make use of ResearchRabbit, I would love to turn that button off. Okay, but let me just turn it on and make it public collection. So right here we have shareable link. Now this shareable link automatically creates a link that can be shared between one particular ResearchRabbit user and another ResearchRabbit user, and this allows another ResearchRabbit user to be able to see your collections, and changes can also be made on your collections. So the next is collaborators. This enables you to collaborate with other ResearchRabbit users. Then we have our collaborator, then email updates.
All right, so let's quickly see how we can make use of this research tool. So here on this angle I have my papers, so I'm going to click on this recent paper right here, 2025. So if I click on that paper, it is going to generate the paper review right here on this particular slide. So on this column I have the paper review, and on the next column here I have other stuffs based on similar works and authors. But for this particular paper I don't have any similar work or reference or citation, so I'm going to click on another paper. Let's see this paper, this literature. Okay, so same thing for this literature. All right, so let's see this next literature, friendship and positive peace. All right, so clicking on that paper. On this other column here I have the literature review of these particular papers, and right here in the next slide here we have our similar works, we have all citations, we have these authors and suggested authors. So if I want to get more in-depth information about this particular literature, I can decide to check similar works and probably check all citations. So what happens when we click on similar works is that we're going to have this pop up, and on this particular slide here we have similar works, and you can go through that to see what papers are similar to that particular papers that you clicked on. And on this last slide here we have our graphical representations of each of these papers. Now this is kind of similar to the same representations that we have on Elicit AI. All right, so each of these nodes here is representing each papers and how they are connected and related to each other. So right here at the top we have graph type based on network, we have the graph type based on timeline. So for this particular graph type, it is based on network. So for us to see the graph type based on timeline, we just click on the timeline and it is going to generate the graph type based on timeline. Here we have 2021, 2013, 2005, 1997, and the likes like that. So all you need to do is just to go through each of these papers based on their timeline. You can click on them. Let's click on this. So I just clicked on this particular paper, and here is the literature review on that particular paper. So it just keeps going on and on and on like that. And for this particular literature review, if I feel I still want to get similar works that are similar to this particular paper, I can still come down here, or references. So for this particular paper, let us click on references, and then once we click on our references, it is also going to generate the reference column. And here we have our reference column, and also we also have connections between your collections and papers. So here we have representations of various papers that that are similar to the citations that we just clicked on, and you can further go deeper into your research by trying to check out the authors of each of these papers. If we click on these authors, it is going to generate a whole loads of all the authors that add their literature review on there. So here is a list of all the authors, and right here we have the graphical representation of each of these authors. So Research Rabbit it is so complex, the interface is so complex, you can just keep digging in and in and in to make your research and all like that. All right, so if we want to also check out our filter options here, so here on our filter we have the relevance paper, we have papers based on citations, we have publications, last name, affiliation. So whichever filter you feel is relevant to your research field, you can simply click on that. We can also apply the comment section, and if we want to find papers based on their abstract, if we want to find papers based on abstract, we can click on that, and it is going to generate papers that are based on abstract. And if we want to make use of the comments, we can simply click on our comment and turn off our abstract, and it's going to filter out those literature papers based on comments only. So you can keep going into your research work. So for us, I'm going to click out on each of these interface. So for you to just click out on each of these interface, here you have the X button. Now once we click on that, it is going to cancel that paper, and you can just keep going more into your your research work. So I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to cancel this, and it definitely brings us back right here. So explicitly, this is how your Research Rabbit works. You can make use of your Research Rabbit in generating literature review, and you can also make use of it in searching for authors that probably wrote a particular literature paper and the likes like that. So basically, this is what you can make use of your Research Rabbit AI tool for. So the last AI tool we are going to be talking about is AI tool that we can use for graphical presentation. Now this AI tool assists us in making graphical presentations of our project work or your assignment or presentations of your thesis. All right, so this AI tool is Canva AI. The first thing for you to do to be able to have access to Canva AI is for you to first of all go to www.canva.com, or you simply input Canva AI into your web browser, and it is going to bring you right here. All right, so on this interface, you first of all have to sign up on the interface, and basically you can use your Canva for a whole lot of stuffs, and you can make use of Canva for your designs. You can make use of it for AI generations. You can make use of it for video presentation and anything related to graphic presentation. So for this video, we are going to see how to make use of these various tools on Canva AI for our presentation. So first off, after we've created an account, it is important for us to note that we have the Canva Pro, and if you want to have access to pro versions and pro designs, you need to sign up for Canva Pro for 30 days, and of course you have different packages for that. So right here, I'm going to be making use of Canva for my presentation. So underneath here we have what will you design today. Here we have logo. You can make use of your Canva for designing documents, a whiteboard. You can make use of it for presentation, social media, video, website, and other things. So for this video, I'm going to be making use of Canva for presentation. So I'm going to click on that. So once we click on the presentation slide, it is going to generate different types of templates that we can use for our presentation. So right here we have various templates, so you can scroll through that to see the presentation slide that fits into your presentation, and the one you probably love. So another thing that is important for us to take note is that on this particular slide, you're going to notice some of these slides have this crown on it. So any slide or any template that has this crown on it simply means that it is only accessible to people who are making use of Canva Pro. All right, so that's a pro design. So I'm just going to look for a template that is not related to pro design. All right, so I clicked on a particular template, and that brought us right here. Now for this template, it has 10 pages, and each of these pages can be modified into what your presentation is all about. And basically it just makes it easier for you to come up with presentation slide without having to start doing your designs from the scratch. So this helps you in saving time and just editing each of these slides to fit into the kind of project presentation you want to make. So for this first slide, you can edit each of these slides by highlighting the text and replacing the text to fit into your presentation topic or whatever your presentation is about. And another thing is, whenever you have an image, you can always replace the image of what is in the template to fit into the kind of image that talks more about the kind of project you're presenting. So to replace your image, all you need to do is to click on the image button right there and come over to this slide. Now on this slide we have upload. So once you click on upload, it automatically opens up the images that you have on your system. You can upload video, but we're going to be uploading pictures for this design. So I'm just going to input one of these pictures into the template. So simply drag the pictures and drop it right there, and right there you have the pictures replaced. And another thing you can do is for you to go to the next slide, and for you to be able to access the next slide, all you need to do is to come back to your design board right here, and it is going to open the other slide. Now you can click on the other slide and click on this slide and input your project topics or your project works into each of these slides according to how you see fit. Now, one thing that is also necessary for us to note is that we can adjust each of these designs through the templates and the tools we are having right here. And right here, if you want to make your fonts bigger, you can do that by clicking on this particular column here, and here is for changing the color of your text. Here is to make your text bolder. Here you have italic, underline, and strike through, and other tools that you can make use of for your presentation. So once you're done making your presentation, what you want to do is that you want to save these graphical slides on your system or on your phone. All right, so I'm going to check out each of these slides, and for me to, once I'm done editing each of these slides, I want to present my project. And you can present your project work through Canva by simply coming to the present button you have right here, and then once you click on that, it is going to generate each of these slides and how you can present it. So if I click on this first slide and I come down right here to present, it is going to bring out these options, and I can present my I can make my graphic presentations directly from here. Here you have your presenter view, here you have your present and record, and here you have your autoplay. But for the purpose of having your graphic designs and your graphical presentations down before you make your presentation, I would advise that you first of all sort out your presentation slide and export them to your system, and you can present them from your system or from your presentation tool that you're using. All right, so once we are done with each of these slides, we can simply download these slides into our system. And how do we download that into our system is that you want to come right to where you have your share, and clicking on your share is automatically going to bring out this where we can download each of these designs into our system. So right here I just clicked on download, and I can download it based on PDF format, and I can download it as MP4, as JPEG. Just depends on the kind of file and the kind of file I want to use in presenting. So I'm just going to download it based on JPEG, and here I have my qualities and everything. So I'm going to click on the 10 pages. You can as well download each of these pages page by page. All right, so for this we are going to be downloading all pages, and I'm going to click on done, and I'm going to click on download. So once I click on download, it is going to download every of these presentation slides right into my system. So this is a very cool AI tool that we can use for our graphic presentation of our project. So this is going to bring us to the end of various AI tools that we can use for our research and for our graphical presentation.